Prominent Nigerians and groups took a swipe at the National Assembly over the 13.5 million naira running costs being paid to senators. Senator Osenie had revealed that each senator received 13.5 million naira monthly as running costs, apart from the 700,000 naira consolidated salary and allowances paid to each of them. Joining us now to discuss this issue is a political analyst, Otunba Olabode Osenie, who is talking to us via Skype from London. Thank you for joining us this hour.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, let's start with the issue really. It's not new. There's always been a hula ballo over the salaries and allowances of Nigerian legislators. Now, what's different about the conversation this time around?
The difference, the way I can see, but before I go to answer your question, let me use this opportunity to send condolences of all the diasporan to the family of the slain people in Nigeria via either terrorists or the headsmen and so on and so forth. It is very saddening. It's very, it's not good news for anybody. And now going back to your question, I want to quote the one of the thinkers, Howard Singh. He said most of the problem third world, poor countries have, is because they listen to bad policies. They allow bad policies. They allow bad laws to operate, to become operative. So when you look at what the difference from what an average Nigerian knows, that these people are taking too much money, are earning too much money at the expenses of everybody, is one of them has has the courage to come out and say, you know what we are doing is wrong, and he will get 25% for that. That is Senator Osenie.
Otunba, let me ask you now. How quickly can we demand a review of the cost of governance?
The best way to do it is to mobilize the people. You see, don't forget that all the power we are talking about comes from the people. It is the people that give their representative the power to do this on their behalf for every 4 years, depending on the area. In France, it's for 7 years or 5 years. Now, it is the people, you and I, and the people who are in the area of education that can educate the ordinary man. You see, because the average Nigerians are getting raw deal from governance. They have never had it good at any given time. The elites has failed them. They have never been a government. I want to be corrected. The last 50-something years, the government that people can now say, oh, we are improving on good governance of X, Y, Z. It has always been them being used as a ping pong, being taken for a ride, taking advantage of them. How can you explain that? That a senator earns so much, a humongous amount of money, and people in his constituency are still eating in a big bowl. 720 people will surround a big bowl, and he will collect 700,000. You see, this is criminal. And I'm happy one of the senators said hate speech will not, I will not be caught with hate speech. This is not a hate speech. This is the truth, that most of what has been happening in the Senate and House of Rep is criminality and should be challenged. Nigerians should stand up and say, you know what the average rep should be earning shouldn't be more than 100 times what the ordinary worker is earning. And you know why? They're getting away because nobody is saying anything.
This brings me to the same question I asked yet again, but I'm going to ask it in a different way. Your line of commentary is similar to initial times when the conversation started about the humongous sums Nigerian legislators were earning. And the Nigerians said pretty much the same, complained, demanded action. But really there was no change, no real change. Will that change be possible this time?
Yeah, that's why I said to you, I quoted one of the political thinkers of our time, Professor Howard Singh. He said, as long as you allow it, don't forget, when you allow certain nonsense, when you allow certain things that are not normal, people will continue to go ahead and continue doing it. But when you want to put a stop, when people jointly, severally come together and say, we cannot allow this kind of thing to continue, they will stop. You see, there was a time when I remember very well, Operation Close the Assembly, people put a lot of input and whatever, but because the country is so wrapped in corruption, some of the people that are supposed to go there, to go and sit down and make the case hard, you know, they fell out because maybe some of them have been compromised. So the answer to your question is, the only way to achieve it is when we are together. When you see, who are these people representing? Is it not people from Awodia and all that kind of thing? And where did they come from? And you know what? It's the play is displaying the kind of human being they are. They have no heart. They have no kindness. They are just like, they don't care. Because how can you explain people earning 18,000 naira and they are not paid in their constituency? In ordinary other countries of this world, people like senators will not have a good sleep unless the average constituent has a better life.
Otunba, but what's the role of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission in all of this? After all, they are mandated by the Constitution to approve salaries for these legislators. So they are complicit in this, are they not?
They are 100%. I agree with. I cannot agree more. I agree with you. And this is where the problem started. You see, because they are also not different from an average senator. Because when you look at it, and I'm making it's an allegation. It is an allegation and at the same time accusation of people who are members of this board doling out so much money, do not put into consideration that an average Nigerian needs more than 18,000 naira, giving them millions. When you look at the total amount of money that are being expended on senators and House of Rep people, half of that money can be used to create jobs, can be used to make good roads, can be used for technology and many other things. But because these people use this commission, they are also benefiting. And I want to be challenged. If they are not benefiting from it, why is it difficult for them to understand that these are also Nigerians that are supposed to be to earn moderately, that there should be enough money for others. But because they believe they have access to these people, they agree to widen so much opportunity for the senators. And like I said, I want to go back to the senators. Yes, Senator Sani Shehu blew the whistle, is the whistleblower, because up to now it's very difficult for an average Nigerian to know how much they were earning. So I want to say, well,
Otunba Olabode Osenie, we could also again ask who appoints the RMAFC, that's the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, but we must end the conversation.
But the Constitution,
we must end the conversation here. We want to thank you very much for your time and thoughts on TVC News Hour.